Hey guys, Tank here. Today we're going to talk, just like the title on it is, are China knockoff RC killing the RC market? That's a big title all to itself. But before we start talking about that, I want to get some guys in here in the chat to actually talk about that. So let me set up my little window for the live chat. And also let me set up and invite some people. Because if I don't invite people, they can't come in. So in the live chat, there's a, I just posted the post to join into the live Google Hangout. So come on in and chit chat. And I'll post it on my Google Plus also. So for some people that know where my Google Plus is, which is the Tank RC, you guys can go there and find the link to actually join in. There we go. Okay. So while we're waiting for people to actually get in, let's work on my MF01. And I'll just change camera. There we go. So basically what I want to do is install the electronics in here. And then I can finish off painting the body when it gets a little warmer. This is the Mercedes-Benz G320 cabriolet. So I'm going to stick on the ESC and the receiver. For this, there's a bunch of different things you can use. There's two-way tape, two-way sticky tape. There's a bunch of different ones that exist on the market. This is an old foam one that I have, that I use. This is a white foam one. This is another type of white foam one. This is a Scotch. This is the 3M one. This one is kind of a plastic. And so is this one. This one is a very old one, same generation as this one. But that one is a nice wide one. And that's what I usually use to actually glue it. They're all pretty good. I've all had success with them. The reason I have a whole bunch of them right now is that they get misplaced. So I put them somewhere and then I can't find it. Then I go buy more. And then I realize I have some. And then I go put it somewhere. And then I forget where I put it. And then I buy some more. Getting old. Not really. I've been like that for years. Just forgetting things. Or misplacing it. And sometimes it's my wife that just, let's blame it on the wife. She takes it and she puts it somewhere. And then she doesn't tell me. And then you ask her and she says, no, I didn't touch it. And then all of a sudden, oh yes, that's where I put it. So I'm just looking at which way is the best way. I want to make sure I have enough cables to go to the motor. I also gonna have to install and glue on the power switch. I didn't check on the manual, see if they had a special place to hang it. There's no bracket, there's no nothing, so it's just going to be glued onto the side. So I'm not sure where I'm going to put it yet, but I'll have a look. And I usually use little tie wraps to actually clean up. So these are small little tie wraps. Sometimes I have some black ones. Sometimes I have some white ones. Today I have some white ones. I actually have some black ones. So black or white. Hey, and we have John with us.
Yeah, can you hear me? Can you see me?
Yeah, I can see you.
All right, good. Country internet, you know.
So why don't you introduce, because it's the first time you come on RC Talk.
It is first time. I just was hopping on my YouTube sub feed and I saw you were streaming live, so I thought, hey, I'll give it a try. Grabbed my laptop, ran downstairs. Hi, my name's John. I run NetCruiser RC Tech Cars on YouTube, yeah, I post a lot of RC action, just fooling around with RCs. I do tech videos too, some real car stuff, but not very much. But yeah, anyway, just thought I'd come on, say hi.
What's the channel name?
NetCruiser, NETCRUZER.
Okay. Yeah, I know what it is. I was trying to make it repeat so everybody else could actually.
Yeah, it's youtube.com/NetCruiser, NETCRUZER.
Cool. Yeah, I was talking to a bunch of guys offline the other time, and we were talking about racing, and especially with the new Ford Unicorn I got, and setting up some race with you. And you said you have a very fast one and all that.
Yeah, I got the Ford G. I got the Fortec 2.0 Ford GT. Up behind me here, that's a Fortec 1 from the 90s, and then that one's a Durango race car. But over here, I don't know what you can see here. There's the Ford GT. So I've got a Castle 5700 kV in that. Yeah, it's pretty ballistic.
How did you like it when it was stock? How was it stock?
Really good, actually. I've made a couple of videos on it with stock. You put a big pinion in it, pretty much put the biggest pinion in that it'll fit, a 28 tooth. And on the stock 12-turn brushed motor, it's surprisingly good.
Cool. Because what I want to try to do this summer, I want to try a couple. Oh.
So I've got a Castle 5700 kV in that.
RC, your other.
How did you like it when it was stock? How was it?
Window is open. We can hear ourselves.
I've made a couple of videos on it with stock. You put a big pinion in it, pretty much put the big.
I had to mute you. Archie Johnny, your other window is open, so I had to mute you. We were hearing ourselves back, so you'll have to unmute your microphone once you're done. Yeah, so I was, no, I can still hear myself back. RC Johnny, you're listening to us with the wrong window. I can hear ourselves with delay. Can you close that window and only listen to us via the Google?
Johnny, your other window is open, so I have to mute you.
Now I'm going to have to mute you again.
You'll have to unmute your microphone.
I muted you again, RC Johnny, because you have to close that window, that internet browser, the one you actually joined the live stream. You had to close that one and just keep the other window open. Once you've done that, unmute your mic. Yeah, it looks like you got the same bandwidth as me, which is country bandwidth. Yeah, that's a nice big motor in there.
Yeah, so it's okay. Let's get some more light on the subject here. The chassis is, I actually quite enjoy the chassis. I've got in a 100 kph crash with this. I have not broken one part on this yet, not even one single thing. Since I bought this in the summer, I've ran it a lot actually, and got in a couple of bad tumbles. I have not had to buy one part on this. I can't believe how strong it is.
Cool.
Yeah, really good. But yeah, so I saw the title of your video is about China stuff. So do you have something new from China you wanted to show?
Well, the only one I have from China, which I got from Chris at GCM Racing, and I did order another one for me and my son to play with the tanks, is this guy, the military truck, which is about a $40 truck. But that's the only thing I have right now. That reminds me, I still have to pay him.
Well, what are you working on the bench on there?
This is my MF-01 from Tanya.
Okay.
And it's the picture's going to be upside down. But it's this guy. It's a shaft driven. I got things. It's a Mercedes-Benz G320. So it's a nice little car. Maybe it's going to show better if I put this one up. There it goes.
Yep.
Oh, I'm presenting to everybody too. Hold on. Let me take you off presenting. I keep forgetting that.
I didn't know if I had camera control or not. It's my first time in a hangout.
Yeah, I can manipulate the camera and actually freeze one of you guys or kick you out or whatever. But I have control of the camera and I can present to everybody. But I think you can also present to everybody. There's a little pull down menu and you can go present to everybody, I believe. Yeah, the only thing I'm doing right now, I'm installing the electronics since I was waiting for people to jump on. Archie Johnny, did you fix your audio yet?
Yeah, that was from the other link on the other YouTube. That was actually fun.
Yeah. That's what I was trying to tell you. Close that other window because it had a delay. Cool. Yeah, so the topic is basically, and there's been a lot of chit chat from Harley Design. Let me change my camera. There's been a lot of chit chat about China and the company that's going bankrupt in the States that doing all the distributing and all that, and the letter that Aaron read from RC Spark, and he was saying, well, the China market is killing us and blah blah blah. And so I just want to say my 5 cents of what I think is happening. And basically it's, somebody, Kagan, tried to join in and the link doesn't work. So you guys use the link that was right there on top, right? Try that again. Try that link again, Kagan. If not, I'll post another one up and see if that one's going to work. Window, there's two links now. Okay, so basically stipulating that the China market and all those Chinese knockoffs and are killing the RC market. What do you guys think? The two guys that I have here, you first, John. What do you think? Do you think it is killing the market? What, do you have 5 cents or something to say about that?
I don't know. I haven't thought about it all that much. And I mean, I'm certainly tempted to buy a bunch of that China stuff because it is way cheaper, right? But it also is lesser quality. So I do have one China truck. It's behind me. I can show it. But,
okay.
I don't know. It's a hard sell, right? Because you're looking at, a car like this is what, $250, $300. A truck like this here in Canada is what, $650.
Yeah.
And then you can get something that is similar, not nearly as good, but will do almost the same things for half the price from China. So obviously it's putting a lot of pressure on the hobby company and the local hobby shops. But overall, I just think it gets more people interested in wanting to get something. And they might start out with getting that China thing. and then get frustrated with it because it's hard to work on. They can't get parts. And then they'll go to their hobby shop and they'll buy a big brand RC if they really like it. So I don't think it's hurting. Not for the big surface stuff anyway. Maybe for the drone market, because with the drones, it's super easy to clone a drone, and they pretty much all use the same parts anyway. So I don't know. I'm talking about like FPV, toy grade to FPV style quadcopters. So I don't know.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat as you. I was talking to a guy at the Great Hobbies yesterday, and I was talking about that and saying this is going to be the title of the RC talk. And
Yep.
Let me just present you. And basically, it was about the same thing. And to me, what I told him is, I think it's a way for people that are not in the RC or that don't have a big budget to try it. So they pay the $30 to get the RC and actually roll with it and see what happens, and then they'll break it. No matter what, they'll just break it, and then it comes back to buying the parts. Okay, where do I buy the parts? I can't. And then they'll either do two things: turn to the store and actually buy the stuff, or get completely turned off and say, screw that, I don't want to deal with that because it's too hard. So there's two things that could happen, but it's a way in for people that weren't in the market to actually do that. I find that the people like me or like you know RC and know the quality, so you won't even bother buying that $125 car. You'll buy the quality because you know you're hard and you're a hard basher on bashing that machine. You'll save up your money and you'll go buy the quality one. That's what I'm thinking. What about you, Archie Johnny?
Well, I haven't really been doing RC too much. I just popped up on here, but I'd say, like, if I had a local hobby shop here, I'd say it might impact it a little bit. But
so, how far is the hobby shop from where you are?
Like 4 hours away.
Oh, really? So basically, you would buy online. So you would buy online, and then
pretty much all my stuff's online.
Pardon me?
Pretty much all the stuff I got was online.
Okay. Because you have, I believe it's Red Cat you have, right?
Sorry?
It's a Red Cat that you have?
I got, this was like the latest car I got. It was an HSP.
Okay, HSP. Okay, so now you got the street one now. Cool.
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
It's been a long time I haven't chatted with you. You're in Canada also.
Yeah, I haven't uploaded a video in over 2 years. I've just been crazy busy with school.
Yeah, you're up there with Kevin.
Yeah.
Have you been talking to him?
Yeah, we usually talk maybe like once a month now or something.
Nice.
I got my exams, 1 tomorrow and then 3 next week, so kind of want to get back into this a little bit.
You changed a lot. Even your voice really matured. Well, it's normal. Everybody matures. Everybody gets older.
Yeah.
But it's nice to see you're back going and you're still into the RC. So the latest one you have is an HSP, but you've had Traxxas in the past. You've had the boat. You had a whole bunch of other ones.
Yeah, I had my Speedrun Bandit. I had my Summit. The boat, I have to order like the prop shaft because I was using that in the summer, and it just completely fell right off the back.
Yeah,
like the whole propeller just flew right off the back, and it's in the middle of the lake somewhere.
Wow. So you never got another propeller for it yet?
Not yet, no. Besides that, everything else is working.
Yeah, Tony from CCXRC says you got a big voice change.
I still Yeah. All your guys' stickers are still up there.
And the board is still up. Cool.
Hasn't moved. But yeah, it's winter here now, so I think I might make a summit vid or something.
Yeah, I know. Here it's been raining, so I actually took the Hoonigan out on the ice, and I was making donuts. I wish I had a camera person to actually videotape and actually zoom and follow the car while it was doing some action. Because one of my pet peeve when I'm watching a video on YouTube is the car looks fine when you're up close, but as soon as it starts getting away, you're just looking at a dot driving away, and it's not as fun. So I usually fast forward until you see the car a little faster or better.
Yeah.
But I got to find somebody with a cameraman, or try to do the videos on weekend and get my son Sebastien to drive and me videotape it. And that's one thing I might start. But I don't want him to start driving the Hoonigan yet, because he might go crazy and hit something. I want to keep it clean for a while.
Yeah, for sure.
Some Dave from RC Patrol says hello to everyone.
Hello.
And Tony says the donuts were awesome. Yeah, I did post on my Instagram. I posted a small little video of me doing donuts with it. I videotaped over 7 minutes extra, going up more on that ramp, not the ramp, but the snow hill, going to my deck and actually driving on my deck and coming back down. So I actually videotaped it all. It's just I haven't done the video editing yet. So there's a heck of a lot more footage coming up.
How does snow when ice drift up the stairs?
It's yeah, up the stairs. All the stairs are covered because it is not snow drift, but we do clean. I do try to clean my deck, so it's basically all the snow off the deck that I pushed into the stairs.
Okay.
But everything is nice and frozen now, so it actually does a nice ramp. But I didn't want to jump or anything.
Well, everything's a perfect ice sheet right now if you're moving the surface.
Yeah.
I put up a video today titled "I Quit RC Bashing," just because it's so cold and so icy out. But I am tempted to go out there. If it's tomorrow's supposed to warm up a bit, so I am tempted to go out there and play around on the ice a bit.
Oh yeah. They say the link is still not working.
I had no problems. I just clicked it once and it let me right in.
And can you take the link off of our chat window and just paste it onto the other window? See if it comes in.
I'll try.
Yeah, CCXRC is saying, are the knockoff the only ones killing the RC market, or just the lower price one? Good question, but I think it's. Did you paste it? So
Won't let me paste it onto the conversation.
So Tony, that's a good question. I think it's the same from the knockoffs are probably killing more of the market, because there's one that looks almost like the Twin Hammer, and some people have told me that the parts actually fit from one to the other. That's probably because all the parts, anyways, who's kidding who? All the parts are made in China for basically all the trucks. That's where they all come from, Japan or China. So after maybe 3 or 4 years, that's when the market opens up and other Chinese company can take those parts and make their own RC, or actually start doing knockoff and start selling them. So it's up to the big company to actually stop them. But it's bad for us seeing it on Facebook or on eBay or on whatever and say, oh, this is a good price and I'll give it a try. I think the knockoffs are hurting more than the cheaper ones. The cheaper ones to me are a way in for the people to actually try it.
Yeah, I haven't seen too many that are an exact engineering clone of one of the more expensive ones. I mean, obviously, you guys know more about the crawlers than I do. Something like a Twin Hammers or like a rock crawler or something like that. Maybe there are, but I'm always surprised that there aren't more clones of like the Armas and the Traxxas. One for one, like part for part, almost. I haven't come across something like that yet. A lot of times they'll make it look like it's the same, like it's a baby X Max or something like that, but they'll be completely different inside.
Yeah. So I'm just trying to post the link again. Somebody odd. That's odd. Your audio muted for a sec. I couldn't hear you. I don't know if everybody else heard you. Yeah, and Tony from CCX is saying that from Taiwan also. So Japan, Taiwan, they're all coming from there. There's Tony.
Yeah, and Tony from CCX is saying that from Taiwan,
Close your other window.
Japan, Taiwan.
And we made it in.
And Dave, get in here. Get in here and chit chat, Dave.
Sorry, I had to mute my computer real quick because I did the whole calling in the radio station with the radio playing in the background kind of a deal where the YouTube was still playing. And I realized it right away, so I muted everything.
Yeah. You're in the living room today. You're not in your studio.
Yeah, I'm watching hockey games right now, actually.
You're watching Montreal
We
versus
started early.
which hockey?
I'm watching Detroit get Detroit and Washington. Detroit's getting killed by Chicago, and Washington's beating Florida. So
I was watching the Montreal one.
Detroit fan, but now that we've moved to Virginia, Washington's our new home team, the Capitals. So they're both on here in the U.S. today. So they're literally a channel apart. I'm just flipping back and forth.
Cool.
But yeah, it's a good topic.
Cool. Thanks. Eric Forget says hi in the chat. He's another local guy here in Ottawa. He used to do short course truck racing. But since the local track closed down, we basically stopped that a little bit. There is one in Cumberland. Somebody in the backyard, he made one. It looks pretty fun. A lot of people have went there, and
yeah, it's a great track. I raced there all summer. It's excellent.
Yeah,
but it's 4x4 short course truck, not two wheel.
Oh, he doesn't allow the two wheel. It's just a 4x4.
Well, he'd allow it if we got enough, but there hasn't been any. It's all been pretty much everyone who races there is 4x4 short course. The two wheel drive short courses are the oval in the West End.
Yes,
works.
Well, there's in the West End, but there's one close to us also, which is in Castleman. There's a oval truck there too.
Yeah, big fifth scale, but I think they're trying to get a 10th as well. But I've never seen the 10th run there.
Yeah, they were running last year at the beginning of the year. There was a guy that was taking care of it, but then he got a new girlfriend, so the RC hobby kind of took a back seat.
Yeah,
and he says, "Well, I can't do it anymore." So the boss short course truck kind of took a back seat and was canceled. It's a lot of organization to organize these races and these trails and all that. It's a lot of organization. Harbor or blah. It's a freaking tongue twister, that name. Says hello to everybody.
Slaughtered that one, Frank.
Yeah.
Oh, there, finally got it working.
Chinese RCs.
That's not a Chinese RC. What do you got?
This one it is, yeah, Cheetah.
Yeah, I thought it was a Cheetah. I saw the tires and the gold.
The radio wasn't working. I think the switch is starting to go on it. like the blue light, I'm not sure if you can see that, but the blue light, it's getting really temperamental now.
Okay.
Anyway, I tried to go run it yesterday. I couldn't get the transmitter to work. It wasn't the batteries or anything. There's something going on with the switch. Anyway, yeah, China quality, right?
Just always leave it on and take out one battery, man. Stop using.
Yeah, right. I guess so.
Or change the transmitter and receiver.
Well, yeah, that was going to be my next step. If I couldn't get it to come back alive tonight, I was just going to put another radio in it. But
So
That's
show me the frame.
you have one of these, right, Tony?
Yeah, I recognized it right away. The wheels and the
Yeah.
The
I got
gold.
them backwards because I thought I'd go run in the snow with them backwards and see how they hook up.
Yeah.
But these wheels, I mean, they look cool, but they hook up terrible.
Oh yeah, they're awful.
Yeah, I
what
try,
is that?
I try not to spend too much time on this thing. I just want to go out and it's one of those. It's you're talking about China versus RC or versus big hobby grade stuff. The one benefit to the China stuff is that I don't care about it. Right? I will run this thing to the max. I'll try and destroy it. I don't care. My other stuff I'll try and be a little bit more careful with, I guess.
Yeah, and those
And
things
how much was the cheetah?
they don't really break. Those the arms on it just like twist into like a little
Yeah.
pistol knot. They don't actually
Yeah.
break.
Yeah, because it has pillow balls front and rear.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've done that where you twist the whole arm right around. Yeah. Anyway,
And if nothing else, if you break everything on it, that motor and ESC combo isn't bad. Thinking of something else.
yeah, it's not terrible. It's got a kind of a funky delay, but it's not bad. If I was going to buy one of these right now today, I'd pay the extra $100 and get that extreme version because then it has the hobby wing electronics in it.
Yeah.
But this was
see, I have the
original.
extreme version.
Oh, you do? Yeah, so you have the better electronics. This
Yeah,
is
it doesn't delay. That's what I hated about I had the original JLB Cheetah 2, the 21101.
Yeah.
It delayed like crazy. I couldn't stand it. But
Yep.
both of them with the upgraded electronics just is a totally different beast. It's somehow the power to the motor just works a whole lot better.
So you have an extreme version one?
Yeah, 3 of them. Well, I have the Cheetah, the 21101, and I have that J3 Speed, which are all running the same hobby ring ESC.
Yeah.
And they're all stupid fun.
I've been trying to get a J3 Speed, but Gearbest doesn't like me enough.
What do you mean? Oh, you mean to send one for you?
Yeah.
Are you one of their associate?
I am, but I've never gotten anything from them yet. They, whatever. YouTuber stuff.
Anyone can be an associate, Tank. If you're willing to put the links out there, anyone can be an associate.
Yeah. You don't have to have a channel. They just want to make.
Yeah.
I've made more on the printer that I bought myself than anything else I've gotten through Gearbest. So
Right.
I mean, yeah, using the affiliate links for something else, you could literally just post it. And some people do. They just come onto my videos and spam it with their links.
Yeah.
The same product.
Block.
I don't care, man. Like, I'm not trying to push it. I'm not trying to be a salesman in any way. I put the links there because it's kind of a requirement.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't point to them. I don't, if it gets some, then it does. If it doesn't, then.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you're making a video about it, that's where you buy them. You can't go to your hobby shop and get these things. That's where you get them from.
And I wouldn't, if I were a buyer, the funny thing is I wouldn't use affiliate links typically. I'm shocked that people use them. Cool, and I'd type in Gearbest into my browser, and then I'd type in the name of the truck into the search, and I'd order it that way. So it's shocking that people do use the links, and people do. But typically, the one thing I came down to with these is it's not, most of the people aren't U.S. buyers. Or even Canada buyers. Most of it's in the Europe and Asia.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And so that's where the one thing everyone keeps saying, how are you doing this? I'm like, well, I've realized that YouTube's a world market.
Right.
So people can't buy Traxxas for cheap in India, and there's not part reliability in India for Traxxas like we have in the U.S. or Canada. And so for us to always say, well, the part availability is only for Traxxas, well, yeah, for us in the Western world, that's the truth. But if they're in other places, even Australia, when you hear them talk about how expensive Traxxas and some of those vehicles are for them to buy in Australia because of the import taxes, I mean, it's just a whole different animal than, we think of everything in terms of Western mindset, because we don't really think of the rest of the world, which is something in my previous job that, I learned to stop thinking about only in Western mindsets. Is, you go to all these other places and they just don't have access to stuff. You go to Cuba and you can't get anything in Cuba unless somebody's gone somewhere and brought it in, or it's from Russia or China. So, and even that is just not much. But usually it's people that travel out, they come back with it, and then they sell it at like 10 times whatever the cost was for them to buy it. So it's just a different animal as far as, in Hobbyco, their brands are around the world, and we're talking about LRP now. That's a European brand mainly, I think, with the motors and all that. They did have a U.S. market, but not. I'm seeing some of their vehicles now, but they're in Europe that we didn't have in the U.S. And so I don't know. It's one of those tough things where we tend to think of things from what we're familiar with. And so once I realized the viewers and all of that for a lot of these weren't even in the U.S., that's when I kind of stopped even myself thinking about it too much. I still don't like the clone ones that are exact clones. I
haven't quite seen those yet where it's an exact clone. Do you have an example of that?
Yeah, the very popular WL Toys 12428, it's green and black, is a twin hammer knockoff.
Oh, really? But it's smaller, though, isn't it?
No, it's the same size. It's exactly the same size.
They make different scales. They make a 10th scale and they make a 12th scale of it.
That's one that I have. Talking about China stuff, that is one I want to get, that 12428, because it looks great.
Yeah, and so it's nothing like the twin hammers to drive it, but yeah, I mean, it's a very cheap knockoff of the stylings and all of that. The other one, that people used to use the Slash, you don't see that as much. There is one, Hunkwe makes it, I think, but RemoHobby, but even Gearbest said that they didn't want to deal in those because Traxxas gives them, they can't sell it in the U.S. and there's all this stuff.
I have heard of them, the RemoHobbies. Yeah, they look exactly like a Slash or like an X.
I was talking, they'd asked me way back when I first started helping them, like, what would people in the U.S. want? Tell us. And so I looked around for things. Cross RC was one of them I said they wanted, but they couldn't sell that for some reason. It couldn't be sold to the U.S. or something. But then there was other ones, and she said it can't be something that would be like a clone of Traxxas or whatever. And so, yeah, I mean, so they understand some of it, but I think they do have one. Somebody was saying that is a knockoff of it. Like they wanted to send me the one that's a knockoff of the Poison Spider crawler, and I didn't want it because that was very obvious to me at the time. It was a knockoff of the Axial, and I just didn't want anything to do with that.
Yeah.
I didn't know too much about the 12428. I've done that one now in several iterations. Of all the ones to copy, though, the Twin Hammers I didn't like that vehicle at all. So, not to say that makes it okay for them to copy it, but
that 12428, does it have friction shocks or is it oil filled?
They're friction.
Okay.
But that's the thing. Like JPRC talks about, Joe over there at JPRC. He does a lot of cool build stuff. I don't know if you've seen his channel. But it's all blue and yellow. It's like his colors, and he's done some really awesome conversions with his Yeti and his whatever the solid axle short course, or the truck. What's the truck? Not the Bomber, the other one that Axial did. Anyway, he's got some awesome looking rigs, and but no, it was their trophy truck.
Oh,
the name of the truck, the trophy truck. But anyway, he has one. He says he keeps in his trunk all the time, and they're just so much fun to just pull out and play with. But But yeah, I mean that one. It's troublesome that it's definitely is troublesome that it's a knockoff of the Twin Hammer.
Okay.
But a lot of these ones aren't like that Cheetah. That's not really. I don't see copying anything. That's kind of
No,
a beast of its own.
It's definitely their own engineering, and to a fault, because it's it's got some annoyances like the quad pillow balls and the shock bodies that have no grips and stuff. But it performs. I mean, as long as everything's tight, it runs well when everything's tight.
Now, what do you mean by when everything's tight? Because if somebody is new to RC, they don't know what that means.
So something that I have had an issue with the Cheetah is that you get a lot of wheel wobble really fast, because I find that the actual metal in the wheel hex wears out quick, as well as because it's pillow ball on the outside and then double hinge pin on the inside. Just things can get awfully loose. Like, I don't know if you can see this, but that's got more play than I would want in it.
Okay.
But that's because the front has been bent and bashed and bent back again, and that's just as good as it's going to be now. Until I get some parts, which I probably never will. So, but I did notice one thing in particular, that is the wheel hex on the inside. Had to actually change them out because I got really bad wheel wobble on them, and that was my only way of fixing it, was to actually swap out the metal.
So what did you use? Just a metal 12mm hex?
Oh, I actually got the proper new hexes from Gearbest for the vehicle. So they do make parts for it. You just have to wait a month to get them.
Wait a month? Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a ton of parts for them. I just went ahead and ordered like a whole new diff set for them. And
yeah, now you have 3 of them. So yeah, they're all the exact same underneath, so that's good. You get a lot of parts.
Yep.
Well, I'm gonna go hit the hay for tonight.
Well, thanks for dropping in. It was nice to see you again.
Yeah, hopefully in a week I can start making some videos again after 2 years.
Well, yeah, and you have a street racer. I was going to say maybe I can go over there, but you're quite a far drive from me. You're about 4.5 hours, I think, or 5-hour drive. You're in North Bay, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, me and Kevin might have to take a trip down.
You still got a crawler?
You're in North Bay.
I just had my Summit. I ended up selling my Wraith a few years back for $600, I think.
A Summit is not, to me, a crawler. It crawls awesome. It's a huge friggin' monster truck that crawls. But I meant like an SCX-10 or a, like you said, you sold yours.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I don't have one of those anymore.
Yeah, the Summit is a beast on its own. That thing is so strong. My son was 3 or 4 years old, and I was doing tug-of-war with him and actually pulling him when he was sitting in the back of on a cart, and I was just pulling him everywhere. It was fun.
Yeah.
I love my Summit. It's great. Did you keep the stock power system in yours?
Yeah, it's still got the stock. A lot of my cars are actually stock. I don't believe myself in upgrading to aluminum for the simple reason aluminum bends.
Bends, yeah.
Once,
I agree with that.
once it bends, it doesn't come back.
Yep, I'm with you there. I keep a lot of plastics in mine for sure. I don't go all aluminum.
Those trucks that you're working on right now have way too much aluminum in them.
What's that?
All those have too much aluminum in them.
Which one is that?
The Cheetah he's working on, those things have so much aluminum. I've bent.
They do, yeah. It has aluminum shock towers, which I don't like. And yeah, the
whole front end that holds the diffs in.
Yep. Yeah.
All that bends and pops pins and.
Yeah, it's all a lot of aluminum.
I don't mind the chassis so much, but.
Yeah, the
hinge pin carriers up in the front.
Yeah.
I bend those, and then the hinges pop out.
You can probably see how bent my rear is.
Yeah. The Zombie of the DHK did that as well. That's probably one of my favorite one of the Chinese brand, which was interestingly sold in the U.S. for a while. In fact, they had done
Oh, yeah?
reviews for them on Big Squid, RC Car Action, one of them, RC Driver. One of the magazines had done some of the reviews even on the DHK stuff before. Chinese knockoff or Chinese sold. But
Do you have the Bison?
I do. 2 of them.
How does it compare to your cheetahs and the?
It's my favorite of them all.
Oh, you like the Bison the most?
That's weird.
chassis.
Kagan. I see Kagan on my phone. He actually tried logging on. I see that he tried logging on to the call, but it's like a missed call. But we never saw him come on. I think maybe Hangout has a problem or whatever with some people or
No,
some.
he tried calling in normally to your standard one. So he called
Okay.
me too. Let's see if I can post a link. No. There's no. Yeah, the link worked for me. I don't know why. Maybe there's only one person get to use that link.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're doing with it anymore. But no, you're asking about the Bison. I love the Bison because I can get parts for it in the U.S. Because it's the same as the A-Main Hobbies / Hobbytown Helion series. So in the U.S., they've rebranded it and put in all new electronics. So it's kind of like the one that I just reviewed or opened today, which is an LRP chassis that now is being sold at Gearbest. They don't call it LRP, I've noticed, in the title. And I'm thinking that LRP might have had a bunch made, and then they announced they were going out of business. And so maybe they had them being made in a warehouse, or I don't know, or maybe they wanted to offload them. But they all came. Gearbest has a bunch, and they have different electronics in it than what is mentioned on the box. But when I looked at the actual chassis itself of this car, it looked just like a whole nother Chinese brand, ZD Racing ones, down to the molds for the arms, the center drive shaft being the same, the location and mount of everything that was put in it was the same. So it was just interesting to me. Again, LRP said, "Hey, here's a good-looking chassis that we can just put our stuff into. We can rebrand it and sell it in Europe as our model of car." So, and I think that's what Helion did with the V-Car Bison. And so in the U.S. we have 2 of them. We have the short course truck and we have the Bison, but they're called the Helion Select 410 TR and the 410 SC, of course.
And who's that made by?
Helion, it's a Hobbytown brand.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's the only place that sells it. So I'm thinking it's a Hobbytown brand.
Yeah,
But they've actually become very competitive, Hobbytown it has, with their pricing. So it just makes sense to buy it in the U.S. now from Hobbytown. You can get the short course brushless 4-wheel drive for $250.
Oh, so they're bringing it in, and it's becoming their house brand RC.
Yeah, they've had it for years.
Oh, okay.
But it used to be $400 instead of $250. And so it has brought the price down here in the U.S. on it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's hard to beat. Like a truck like that, brushless setup, $250. That's hard to beat.
Yeah, and they're quick.
Kagan, send me an email at thetankrc@gmail.com. So that's thetankrc@gmail.com, and I'll email you the link. Maybe it's going to work off the email.
Does he have Google Plus? You could just do an invite, right, directly to his Google Plus.
I'll try.
But yeah, so that's one of the things too that makes it hard. It's like, so some people would call that a clone, But other people say, well, no, maybe they found a brand that was like a top competitor or a top company in China and said, hey, let us just rebrand this for the US.
Yeah.
And so they're just paying for something that's already been designed and built, throwing a new body on it, throwing their electronics in it, giving it a different name for US market. So different boxing and all of that goes with it. So it's hard to know anymore on some of those, whether it's actually a clone or whether it's a rebrand. But I mean, the parts are an exact match. And so what I do is I downloaded the manual for the Helian ones, and whenever I break apart, I just use that to get the new part from Amazon, or I go to Hobbytown. I just bought new shock towers or body posts for my front on my short course truck. So I just took it out and broke it, and just walked in when I was buying other stuff. And I actually sold one of the Select 4s for Hobbytown. A guy was looking. He had a what's the new 4x4 by Arma, the little short course, the Mega 4x4 Sentin.
Yeah, the new Sentin 4x4. It's confusing because now there's two Sentins. I don't know why they did that. It was dumb.
Just the brushed one. So he had that, and he was having trouble getting it out and putting a new motor in there. So I took it apart for him and showed him how the motor part pulls out. And
yeah, that's supposed to be super easy. One screw or something, right? One screw and the whole assembly comes out of that truck?
Yeah, for that. And then it's like 4 more screws if you want to take out the diff. It's super easy. Until you get stuff gunked up in it and then it doesn't pull out. That's what happened to his. He couldn't get the motor assembly out because it was so gummed up with stuff.
Yeah, I've been trying to get that the Granite. The new Granite.
Yeah.
Same truck.
Yeah. Same truck. Tires and a little bit bigger chassis. But the I was looking at the Traxxas, what's their the rally car, because a lot of guys here are kind of interested in doing a rally race, just a bunch of guys getting together doing it. Yeah, and they're all finding used ones or whatever, or making them out of touring cars, and I'm like, I'll just buy one. But so I was looking at that, and he was interested in it, and it's like $280. But he's telling me what he's wanting to do with it. He's got this track he's building in his yard, and then they're gonna race him. I'm like, dude, if you're gonna do anything, for $280, look at that one's $250. It's brushless, 4-wheel drive. It would stomp all over that rally car any day of the week. Those things, I clocked mine, and it was 40-some miles an hour out of the box for $200 and some bucks. They're like short course. Yeah. So, and it's tough as nails. The only thing I busted was the body and the tower or the body post, and that's because it was cold out and I was trying to backflip it. I didn't land it very well, one of them. But they just showed Hobbytown just were building a ramp and they were launching it on cement, like airborne, and it just like kept over and over. It was pretty tough and durable, but the Bison, because it has a fin on it, it's the same chassis, but because it has a fin on it and the way that it mounts, if you land on that fin driving into the ground with the rear end, it'll literally separate, because it's a 3-part chassis, and crack the whole back end of the chassis, and you have to buy a whole new 50. It's not bad, it's $15, but to take everything out and put it on a new chassis is retarded. So, but they now are making a metal brace that they sell. In fact, it comes on all of them out of China now, out of Gearbest. All of the new ones, they put the brace on it just to protect it.
Oh, nice.
But it didn't mind it.
Also one thing about the China stuff is that they're making the revisions faster than the big companies can.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and it's tough because they have to work through people in order to get it from the U.S. over where, when they're seeing it direct there, they're saying, well, there's a problem. Everyone keeps talking about this braking, and we have a whole group of people that have with these big bash, low cash on Facebook, and they're coming up with modifications for them to make them stronger, and so they're picking up on that and adjusting and modifying them. So, but I mean, the question goes back to what Tank is asking: is it good for the hobby or is it bad for the hobby?
Yeah, and it's weird and it's odd in a sense because, like I was talking, we had a good discussion with the hobby store here at Great Hobbies. Sean was saying what he noticed because I actually asked him, "What do you notice, or what does it hurt you?" In other words, at the hobby town, and what he says is what he notices is a lot of young people coming in. Yes, they have the cash, but young people nowadays, it's wow, I want the greatest, I want the best, and they buy it, they try it, and then they put it in the corner because they go, oh, a spinner, and then they go try something else. So it's like a
a
fad,
spinner?
but
A fidget spinner?
yeah, fidget spinner, or they
It's
see
just their
something else.
attention.
So
So it's
to
not.
them,
He's just saying that their attention span is the problem.
yeah, the attention span of the new people or the new generation of people, it's
Yeah.
not there.
Well, they're not wanting to get into it where they come up there every weekend either and race every weekend.
No.
Yeah.
And Dave
I think
from Radio
I think
Control.
it's good for the hobby overall. I think it's probably bad for the hobby shop.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But Dave from Radio Control Patrol also was saying today that what he notices is that a lot of kids go on YouTube to find something and to do something or to do a build. Like some people, they could try to find the information. Oh, I can do that. So they Google it on YouTube and try to find it. And then they either try and say, see, I could do it. And then they just put it away or say, no, it's too hard. Or so you get those people that they're good engineer, but they show people how to do it. And then the people that wants to do it, or it's like, it becomes to him, and also like a lost art. Like it's like the people that could make money off of it don't make the money now because they show everybody how to do it. So now everybody's starting to do it.
Right.
So it's
Yeah.
kinda
Well,
weird.
yeah. And you can make your own now with 3D printers. But yeah, I think
Yeah.
you're right too. Or you'd get them fixed. You'd take your car into the hobby shop and you'd pay to have them repair it. Well, now you can just repair your own. Just go online, find somebody doing it, and
Yeah, I've seen a lot of that real world where just hanging out at the track, we'll get new people come out, they'll break it, and then that's the first place they go. YouTube video, how to do the repair. It's interesting.
There's nothing wrong with that. But
No, it's great. I would rather them do that than take it to the hobby shop to have them pay someone to fix it.
well, then you go, and I talked to somebody else about this recently. You go into the drone world now. I think that for any hobby shop to really get into the drone market could be a big mistake because it changes so rapidly. But also, so many of them are small companies that are selling their own parts, and people want, the Steel brand things or things that you would just order through Team Black Sheep or from Steel himself or from, MQC in Ohio or, Detroit Multi-Rotor. You just go direct to the people that make them, and, they're cutting out the middleman in the stores. And so how do you compete with that when people want these very specific things that are constantly changing that you can't stop because the sport is evolving so quickly and changing all the time that it's to put any money into it to have inventory seems ridiculous. And anything other than some things like props and maybe some ESCs or something, but even still. And most of them are coming from China anyway. The EMAX that everyone's flying are sold in all of the places overseas as well. So it's one of those. Yeah, I don't know what what the game is, but I don't see like a lot of those name brands really picking up and they're not going to be a favorite of people for the drone racing because there's all of these smaller companies that are in, and that's what these guys are kind of like skateboarders. They don't want that name brand, So
yeah, well, drones, like we were saying earlier, that I find on drones the market is flooded. you buy a motor and you buy all the parts are so interchangeable, and it's just flooded with different little parts that you can buy. Fly Sky, and there's a whole bunch of other ones that all similar, and you can buy goggles. There's so many goggles. I started looking for goggles, and I got confused because there's too many of them. Like, it's just flooded like crazy.
Yeah. So it's how do you keep up? And because nobody's buying your stuff, I mean, the inventory you get there is just insane. But yeah, and then the bashing world or the car world is changing with, you know, people not like that. The hobby shop person was saying is that they just don't stay interested long enough to want to jump into a league and spend that time up at the track racing.
Now, Rayside Racing said a comment here. He says he finds that a lot of China RC companies shares chassis and components, parts, electronic, etc., for a fraction of the price of some of the big name RCs. So yes, some of them do have. Well, sometimes it's similar chassis, but I don't think it's the same chassis. Shocks maybe. There is some parts that are interchangeable, but not all, because I don't know which. His name is Travis. What parts you're talking about? Is it the short course truck? Is it the street race cars? Because I know on the street race there's a whole bunch of different ones. So there's a lot of different components and different chassis and different formats. So it's hard to say. But I know that you've picked up some racers and some drifters and some stuff. So there is some, but it's a crapshoot of if they do fit or they don't fit. I know shocks don't matter. You buy a 60 millimeter shock, you pay how much is it for a pro line? Like they're $50 for two of them, and you can buy them for $10 out of China or even cheaper sometime on eBay. So which one do you buy? It's an oil-filled shock. There's oil. If it leaks for $10, times are rough. I'm going to buy the $10 one. Like it's not because I don't think Proline is a good brand or anything like that. It's just that sometime I have to watch my pocket. But if there's a special on and I'm stuck, then I will buy the more expensive one.
Well, like places like Racing, where's that out of? Or Boom Racing?
I think Racing is Hong Kong because they seem affiliated with RC Mart.
Yeah, and Boom Racing also.
So RC Mart. But I know that our hobby store stocks it. You know,
Yeah.
Like I just bought that steering wheel mod, and I bought it at Hobby Town. But that would be a Chinese branded part. You know, Boom Racing. You know, you look on their website and they're based out of Arizona, I think it says. But, you know, it's mainly sold through, what's that big one? Oh, Asia Tees. That's a big Boom Racing, where all the different parts and stuff for Boom Racing. And they're, I think, manufactured out of China as well. They may have a U.S. headquarters that deals with them. I don't know. But it feels more like a Chinese brand because of it being usually through Asia Tees that I see their stuff coming from and talked about. So, and then there's Hobby Wing, like that's a big one, right? Yeah. So that's almost considered like name brand, but you get it at a fraction of the price if you want a brushless system. But it's, you know, in some ways considered like second tier name brand almost. And so where do we draw the line? Then somebody's undercutting Hobby Wing. So, you know, with ZD Racing or whoever, you know, like total straight blue can motor, no markings, you know, where it's not named at all. So it feels like one of those things where people are just looking in some ways to point a finger at something, whether it's because their marketing isn't right or they read the market wrong. But at some point, you have your Netflix and you have your Blockbuster. Should Netflix be, Netflix would be like the Chinese market of the video rental, even though they're not. But they came in and said there's a whole new way to play the game, and this is what people want. And Blockbuster didn't keep up, and they tried to keep doing it their way. And guess what? Netflix even kept changing their model from shipping you DVDs now to everything being online, trying to keep up their model. So
yeah, in Canada we never had the system. It just was always online.
What was Netflix?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's my only thing. It's like I think Hobbyco has a lot more going on, than Chinese brands and Traxxas suing them.
Oh yeah, with that many companies juggling, like how do you juggle 150 brands? And
well, wasn't it?
I looked at the list of all
the
things
shareholders at Tower Hobbies that raised the red flag a year ago, that put them into being looked at by the government, right? Because they're all investors in a way.
The owners.
So but yeah, there's they're always going to put out their press release to make them look good.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm them, I'm going to put out a press release that's trying to save myself as well. Try and keep things going.
Well, I think the biggest thing was, I think the biggest thing that killed them was the Traxxas suing them. I think that's where it hurts their pocketbook a heck of a lot more than anything else.
I think it had an impact. I don't know if it's if it was as big as most people think. I don't know. It's all speculation, but with 150 brands to manage and I think their debt load is like $50 to $100 million in debt. That's not just from the Traxxas lawsuit.
Yeah. There's a guy that actually had a really great video. His parents were both bankers, and he could speak to it and he actually called it out before. He's a model guy, so he's more into the Revel model side of it than necessarily the RC. But he said he was calling it before, and that everybody was telling him he was off base and thinking it. But what he said, it made a lot of sense. But it's, I don't know any of their dealings or whatever. I love their Axial vehicles. Futaba is a great brand. Axial is a great brand. They've got a ton of great brands that they represent. So, I don't want to speculate too much on what it was, but I think it's bigger than just one thing. And it's unfortunate, that's for sure, especially for the workers and all that. But hopefully that they'll, they're trying to go through processes to keep it afloat, and hopefully that'll happen. And hopefully they'll be able to right the ship, because a lot of times this is what people do when things do get out of whack in the U.S. and allows them to work with that debt that they have and be able to restructure and hopefully come out on top. But
yeah. Well, hey, Kagan finally made it in. What is your 5 cents on the China knockoff or cheap RCs? Is that killing the market for you? You think?
Not for me. I have never bought any, but I think they're okay for kids and stuff. At least if it gets people into the hobby, it's not a bad thing. But if they're going to copy things directly, it's not great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I completely agree. Copying, I haven't seen much. There's copying close to the same, because the SEX10 to me has been a pretty nice car, and since it came out, there's been a lot of other people that came out with cars that looks the same, but almost like you get the frame rails and you have the links and you have, but everybody comes out with their different shapes and shades and make it a little wider and whatnot. But it's starting to be flooded with crawlers now, because
True.
we have HPI, Traxxas, there's a whole bunch of them that actually makes it now. Boom Racing, There's a lot of people coming out with parts. So I think it is going to become a war of who can withstand the market and come out alive. And so hopefully they don't spend too much money. It's just there's starting to be a lot of almost the same brand. I have an SCX10. I'm debating on buying an HPI or a Traxxas, but
Right.
because I have a crawler truck, that's the way I think. It's too close. It's too close of the same truck for me to say I'm going to turn around and spend another $600 for that truck. It's too close to the one I got right now. So
Yeah. What about the Vetera? They did something different with their battery placement. That little moving battery tray inside the box. Some of their placement.
Yeah, but the only thing they really did is do the battery tray at different place. So that's
now
why
they made their chassis extendable.
That's true.
That's a big upgrade over what the the locked-in chassis length of the.
Yeah, you can change your wheelbase.
Modular in that way. Cool. What was that?
You can change the wheelbase on the chassis, which that is a cool feature.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, there's only so many ways you can do rails for a frame differently. Although somebody, Gmade, just did theirs. Theirs was completely different looking. The way that they go up over their shock tower in the back, of the shock mounts in the back of theirs. But yeah, there's definitely, I think, that we're getting more options, and I don't know that it's necessarily Chinese or versus whoever. I think that you run into more problems when you have so many options in general, because hobby stores can't stock all their replacement parts.
True.
They've got to start making choices on what their market will be. That's the other thing so drones is a weird thing for companies like hobby stores, but trail trucks too, like all the little accessories and things like that. You can't stock that. People want such specific things for popping up their trucks,
Green gas
How do
can,
you
not
stock
the
all
red
the
one.
aftermarket aluminum parts or the Proline, top racks or the stuff that people carry? It's kind of one of those. Even the rims, there's so many different types of rims for those. It's just markets that they can't get into. Whereas with the bashers, it was pretty simple. Or even if you had a racetrack, you knew what people were racing, and they'd break it, and so you'd have replacement parts on hand that they'd come from the racetrack and they'd buy to be able to fix their car and keep it running.
Yeah.
And that's a much easier game than trying to figure out what color rims to have for trail trucks. Do people want the gray ones? Do they want the black ones or the red little bling in them? Or how many spokes do they want?
The green gas tank or the red gas tank?
Yep. I mean, it's just really tough to inventory that kind of thing. And so people are going to go onto Amazon. And when they're buying that little gas tank, they're going to see, oh, you know what? I wanted to get that too. I might as well just throw it in my shopping cart as well.
Well, it's just like my little guy's in karate now. And I bought him the suit here at local store. And I ended up paying with taxes about $55. My brother, first thing, his son is just in the same karate class as Sebastien now. And he came there and he saw everybody with the white costume for karate, the gi. And he asked me where I got it and how much it was. First thing he did, he went on Amazon. And he says, oh, I can get it for $40 on Amazon. And that's on Prime, next day delivery. So he goes, I'll save $15. So for saving $15, he's not going to support the local store.
Right.
Like to me, that's like
a little bit of money is what makes me buy or not buy from my hobby shop. I mean, I will always pay a little bit more money.
Yep.
To be able to get it and to support my store. I could have, in my store is not even that close anymore. So my hobby town is 30 to 45 minutes away now. And it's just I I hate driving there. Like the actual drive is just, I don't like it at all. But I could have ordered the Racing stuff and just sat at home and waited for it to come. But I did it online through Hobbytown for pickup, and I went in there. And that's, again, when I ran into that kid and helped him with his truck, helped him actually buy that other truck while he was there, get to talk to the guys. And, you know, it was a little bit more money to do it that way, especially considering gas. But, you know, when I can, I definitely prefer to support my hobby store locally because I love to go in there.
So this is my job, the cleanup I did by putting the tie wraps and for the electronics. So I'm done for that one. I have to put the body post and get the body painted, but I got to find a garage. I started painting at the office, but people got angry and because it started smelling too much.
So what car is
Doing your
that?
bathroom.
That looks really good, Kagan.
Thank you.
Which car are you working on right now, Kagan?
I painted up a Jeep Wrangler Unlimited from Axial for the SEX 10.
Okay.
And I got the hard top for it too, but I put a Hot Racing soft top on it.
That soft top looks cool. I like that bumper.
Yeah, it's into G. I still got to mount the winch on it. Figure out a way to. The holes don't line up directly. I think you can get RC 4-wheel drive mounting plates. I got to look into. I may just zip tie it on there for now.
It's just like Intergy. Intergy is a China, or they're out of sea, but a lot of people were knocking that name brand for a while because they said they were using cheap material, but they seem to up their game and changed it, so now they're a little bit better.
It's a little bit better, but some of their fitment isn't great. Like when they put paint on something, they might not take that into consideration. They do not nice mill work though.
Yeah, there's a comment there on for my RC Center. He says when he gets a lot of great tips and expert advice when I go to the hobby store. I balance my purchase between online and brick and mortars.
Nice.
That's true, but that comes back to what we were saying earlier about people on YouTube. Sometimes some people, they go directly to YouTube to get the information. Could be good, could be bad also, because sometimes the information on YouTube is not correct.
Yes,
Gotta be careful.
good not to go to the first video you find.
Especially if it's on my channel, probably will.
Yeah, especially when you start Googling and then you find this guy, which is Tony from CCXRC. That guy there.
Get a second opinion, man. Get a second opinion. There's a bunch of other people doing the exact same video at the exact same time. Get a second opinion from. Has so many problems with YouTube. But Tank, what car are you working on? What are you painting up?
Who are you asking?
Tank.
Sorry, I stepped away from the desk.
Probably that Mercedes with the Tonka.
Yeah, I was working on the Mercedes. It's going to be the Tonka toy.
Oh, yeah.
But this is the weathering I did for my camper.
Good.
My son says, "Dad, that was a mistake." He's 8 years old, and he told me it was a mistake to make it that way because I made it look old.
That looks right to me.
So it's all muddy,
Yeah.
all dirty. And I put a,
Oh,
Cool.
back? No way. I love it.
there's a whole bunch of stickers. I even got Trump stickers underneath there.
Oh. What?
YouTube, that's awesome. That's Trump.
Holy cow.
You custom make some of those, or you just have a horde of stickers?
No, I'm gonna actually. I did a video real quick about that, and I printed those at the office, and I have a whole bunch of them left.
Color laser printer perks or something.
Is it on the vinyl? Is that how you did it?
No,
And
well,
the
no,
sticker?
it's. I'll show you. It's from Avery. But see, these are like I was gonna do, but it came out too big. I was gonna do a Uber, so I was gonna put a Uber sticker on my camper.
Yeah.
So these come in a regular sheet, and it's actually is transparent stickers. So when you actually peel it, this one, come on, get off of there. There we go. So when you actually peel it, it is transparent.
Cool.
And what this is basically, they call it Avery shipping label.
Okay.
And that's the number of it. And you pay $10 about, and you get 10 sheets. You print whatever you want on it, and it lasts a long time. I had one on my slash body for 5 years.
That works.
I'll have to get some of that
Yeah.
on Amazon. I mean, in my local hobby shop.
So I did. I did a quick video about a couple things and showing, and then when I printed it, what it looked like, and I took a picture of this, and I'm going to do a quick video of do-it-yourself labels for the RCs, because it's cheap. It's cheap to do, and it's easy to do, and you can custom made anything you want.
True.
You can even use a bubble jet for that, or inkjet. But I use the laser because I find it lasts longer when it's actually baked on.
Oh yeah, I bet.
But it's the Avery 7665 package, and you can buy them in jumbo pack also with more. But this is 10, so it works out great.
And then when you peel it, it still feels like a normal sticker.
Yeah.
Like it's.
Yeah, because like this one, when you actually peel it, it's very thin in the sticker, and it's very, very sticky. I made a whole bunch of different ones that I was going to put on my.
Yeah. Put on your what?
On the camper.
Yeah.
But I'm keeping some of them, and I'll probably end up putting it on some cars and so on. I made the light is a little bright, but there's Bugs Bunny here.
Oh yeah.
So there's a whole bunch.
So
I got Winnie the
on
Pooh.
like a glossy, transparent layer, or it's a, or there's like a paper in between.
There's a paper
it's
back
cool.
at the back that you peel off.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's printing on like a glossy, transparent plastic layer.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Are those only for laser jet, or those for inkjet too?
Inkjet and laser.
Inkjet too. Sweet.
I would think inkjet would just smudge right off, but I guess they've figured that out.
No, yeah, when it dries, it's okay. But you can see here, it actually says inkjet or laser.
Oh yeah.
Well, that's pretty
I like
cool. I'd want to try that out.
So it is a very glossy It is a very. Let me try the other camera. Maybe I can show it better with the other camera.
That's all right. I'd want it to be glossy. That's what I was wondering. Is it like a matte? You know, sometimes you see those really cheap, like the ones that when they get wet, they're ruined. That looks like it would be hold up to some moisture. Okay.
Yeah, they do hold up pretty good. Like I mentioned, I had one on my Slash for 5 years, and I bash with it. I go outside when it's wet. I went in the water. I was doing some races with it, and I had the Tank RC on top of it, and I had it for years on that one. But the one I had previous to that, the material was a little different. It was like a frosted. So when you did put it on a colored body, you didn't notice the frost. It looked awesome on white. But when you put it on a colored body, it didn't show up as good. But I'm happy that they changed it now, and this one is actually transparent. So I'll take it off, and because I don't have to think then on that one, so I have to look over my glasses and try to peel it.
Oh, that's a good idea. I think I might try and get some of that. So you got that from Staples, did you?
Yeah, just the Staples.
Yeah, because every now and then I go and look at getting some custom stickers made or whatever, or even just like the pre-made ones on Etsy, something like that. The shipping, it's killer.
Yeah.
It's a piece of paper. Why is shipping so much?
So here you go. It's clear. You can see me through it.
Yeah.
And it's written Little Italy on it. So, and once you stick it on something, it just becomes transparent.
And then when you're printing, do you have to mirror it or no?
No, you don't mirror it. You just print it just like a letter.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, that's awesome.
So if I take this and stick it onto here,
yep.
and then I can and now I have Little Italy on there. And of course, just like any sticker, if you cut around it, you'll see less of the.
Yeah.
So it turns out very good.
Yeah, because I've wanted to get my name and my brand and stuff on my race cars and things like that. So maybe I'll just make my own that way.
Yeah, and even if and this is laser, so it might last longer. I should try a bubble jet and actually see the difference between the two, or an inkjet, and see the difference. But last time I did it with the laser, and it lasted a long time. I go through mud, water, and it just stays on.
That's cool.
This one I might put a seal on top on my camper once I'm finishing weathering it, making it look old. Because last night it was the first coat I actually put on there, so I find it's a little too brown. I might put some dirt on it. I actually started making so it looks like caulking. So on top, you actually have right here a bead of caulking. So it's like a silver caulking. So I have to make it a little bit more brighter. On the roof also, I made like caulking on the cracks just to make it look in the front. I made it look like caulking also where the crack is. So I'm just making it look old. So it's going to be neat, I find.
No, is that paint or is that like a 3D? Does it stick up a bit?
Well, this is all paint.
Yeah, okay.
And I used the aluminum here for the windows. So that's why it's streaked a little bit. I might do it in a different coat, another coat. Or like we were talking on the last hangout, to use window tint and actually make it and glue the window tint on there at the edges. Like that, it's going to look like a real window. It's going to have that glare effect. But
so is that paint like for doing plastic models, like tester's paint?
Yes, it is. The one I used is the Tamiya, the bigger ones, the water base.
Okay.
So I used the water base one. This is the X32, which is the titanium silver for this one.
Gotcha.
Huh.
Easy cleanup with water base too.
Yeah. One thing I noticed with when I painted my styrene, because I use a very thin styrene, I didn't want the body to be too thick, is that it really warped my styrene, like here, because when the paint dries, it just pulls everything. So now I'm going to have to make something here on the inside to actually pull this back because it actually looks too warped. Or I might leave it like that because it actually looks old. It looks
Yeah,
warped.
you almost just need to like take a little lighter to it and kind of curl it. That's what it looks like. It kind of peeled back.
Yeah.
Unwarped it.
But this thing looks good behind my SCX10. When I put it behind my XCX10, it actually looks good. So I want to make a video, and it's going to have my SCX10, and I'm going to say, don't you feel sometimes that your trailer is pulling away from you? And then the trailer is actually going to pull away. So it's going to be funny. I find it. It's my French humor.
That'd be hilarious. Did you just post another video like with a snowmobile inside of one of those things?
Yeah, on Facebook, somebody put a snowmobile in a camper. So it's a big snowmobile, but they actually backed up the snowmobile and actually put it underneath the camper. And the camper still's got the wheels, but it actually has the track underneath it. So it's kind of funny.
Well, that's round 2, buddy.
Yeah. I go, I wonder. Like, in other words, build another one, but have a skidoo under it.
Totally do it.
But the people here at the local clubs, they at the Ottawa rock crawlers of Ottawa, somebody posted a video of there's a video going around. It's a water cooler, and it's on big wheels, and the guy's driving around with the cooler and passing beers. So the guys actually said, okay, who's up to do this build for this summer? And then somebody wrote down, this looks like a job for the tank RC.
Mm-hmm.
So then I wrote back, yeah, but for this build, I'm going to have to do a GoFundMe.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be expensive.
Yeah. Well, it adds up quick. Sure does, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah, just like the other night.
Your mud truck.
Yeah, your mud truck. You were talking the other night, and somebody asked you how much it cost. So then you were starting to add things up, and then I put it in the comments. You didn't reply, but I put in the comment.
Oh, I read it. Yeah, you never do that.
You should not count. Don't count.
No. I don't even do it for my own sake, because I really don't want to know.
No. Ignorance is
But
bliss.
I figured it was a good learning experience for everybody, including myself. Why you shouldn't do that. Not why you shouldn't spend the money, just why you shouldn't let yourself know how much you spent.
Oh yeah, I'm afraid to do
that. I forgot to add that. That added a whole another $70 to it.
Oh yeah, it goes quick.
You can use it as a write-off, add up as capital losses for your YouTube.
Totally.
Yeah, so you got to add it up at some point.
Yeah.
So I was thinking about doing that for 2017. I'm afraid to add up everything I've spent, but I think I'm going to just to see if I can do that.
Yeah, I'm still not going to do that. My wife does the taxes. If I'm honest, the number will be above the money that came in.
Oh, mine certainly will be. Also, I've certainly spent more money than's come in. Absolutely.
Way more.
Yep.
That DBX LE doesn't help.
Oh, you bought one of those too? You have an X-Max and a DBX LE, don't you?
Yeah.
Which one do you like more?
And probably will have that new Traxxas 1/7 scale when it comes out. If it comes out, it better. That thing looks.
That's the rumor. That and an E-Revo 2.0.
I broke my E-Revo already.
Diffs or axles?
Axle.
Tony, which truck you're talking about from Traxxas? The short course truck, the 1/5 short course?
Yeah, it's 1/7 is what they were saying. The rigid one that they had hanging. I don't know if that's real or not, but it looked awesome.
That graphic isn't even from Traxxas. That's some hobby shop figures that's what it's going to look like, and so they posted that, and then the people started reposting it, including myself.
Yeah, I hope it looks like that.
Yeah, it's cool.
I mean,
it looks
that
like
would be what? That's like Home Depot, right? Brand rigid.
Yeah. That's apparently like a real race truck.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if they came out with a solid axle trophy truck 7 scale, it'd be tough to say no to. But I'm curious what they'll do with the E-Revo too. I mean, if they do that thing from the ground up, because when I look at that and how it's built compared to the X-Max, the X-Max is built it's so much more. They learned a lot. We'll just say that in the way that they built the X-Max. It's so easy to work on the X-Max.
Yeah.
Getting in and working on that E-Revo doesn't seem like much fun.
Yeah, it's got some challenging areas to get into. The diffs and the bottom part.
One of those, the drive shafts are weird. That's what I busted off one of the. They use C-clips
Mm-hmm.
to hold on the pins that go through the CVDs or the U-joints, whatever it has, and just pop those off until it just lost a pin.
Gotcha.
So luckily, it's cheap, and you can just quickly stick new ones in and clamp the pins on. But that seems like it's going to be a perpetual problem for somebody like me who can't drive.
And for you guys that are on right now, and for anybody else, if you guys want to be on the next RC chat, what I could do is actually send you an email invite. It might make things easier. So about 10 minutes before the broadcast starts, 10, 15 minutes, I'll send the email out to everybody saying we're going to be starting. Log on anytime like that. When I start the chat, you'll actually be on air already. So it's the Tank RC at gmail.com, and just send me an email. Tell me, hey, I'd like to join in the next one, and I'll make sure I do a list of email to blast out and invite people. Might make it easier.
Perfect. Yeah, I was doing all sorts of stuff, calling people.
Cool. Hey, that roof rack looks a little heavy there. It's going to make your truck top heavy.
Looks awesome, though.
All the crap that's on it. And then I'd reorganize it.
That's a little cooler.
Yeah, one of the little ARB ones. These are actually only $9.99 or something, not bad. And some sleeping bags. And shovel. And jack.
Is that a working jack?
Yep. One of the working RC four-wheel drive jacks.
It was so funny. Last summer we had an event here, and the guys were going on my trail and doing everything at scale. And a guy actually got stuck on a branch, and he actually took his jack and actually was trying to jack up his truck with the jack, and not using his hand, but actually trying to jack up the truck to put a piece of wood underneath it. So that was kind of
I
like,
remember seeing that video. I think he struggled a bit with it.
This is extreme. Like, this is extreme. Like, it was neat to see. And I go, wow, you guys are too much.
Yeah, that's some extreme scale.
Looks like your wife packed the truck. It's a lot out there.
Yeah, a bunch of crap. I forgot how I put it on.
Is that a blow dryer and a curling iron?
Looks like a deer also, a dead deer.
Yeah. Yeah, got a trophy buck here in the back.
So why are you taking it all apart? You're going to put it in a different truck?
Yeah, I'm going to separate it and put it between a few trucks, I think. This is the shotgun you get from Wraith. I don't know if you can see that.
It comes with it?
Yeah, with the Wraith, you had
I painted it. It was just black. And that's a sniper rifle that comes with the Wraith. I painted that.
Why would the Wraith have a sniper?
They come with bull horns. Sometimes they come with ammo cases. These little axial ammo cases. You put a couple screws in it, and then the lid will open up for you.
Huh. I never even opened my parts bags.
Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff in there. Like the SCX 10-2 had handles for the door handles, the back trunk handle. No windshield wipers, but
Windshield wipers are easy to make out of styrene.
Little Coleman lantern. Actually works. I just don't have a battery in it. Keychain.
Cool.
Yeah, this extinguisher came on the exterior parts treat. Those aren't bad. They come with white.
Yeah, Bar Harbor Basher says the Yeti XL has a pistol in the kit.
Nice.
In the kit. Wow.
So what is the whole top of that? I can't make out what that
Oh, it's
what that is.
roof rack.
And what's it
For
mounted?
what truck?
Let me grab the truck I made it for originally.
That was an SCX10 Rubicon, I believe, eh?
Okay. Okay, now what are you working on? Oh, nice.
Yeah, it sits in the back with magnets.
Cool. Is the cage is from what truck? Is that from a Rubicon cage?
No, what it is actually, it's all just pieces that I had since I upgraded my SCX10 with the aluminum parts. These are the steering links. This and this are you get an extra steering link in the kit. And these are the plastic 4-link suspension. You put a screw down through the end of those, and you got a 4-link. You got a total of 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. Then 2 on the sides underneath these guns. And my shock hoops at the bottom. And some angle aluminum, some flat aluminum, some metal plates. And then on the bottom of this, I put magnets.
Cool.
So you can, it just sticks on there.
Nice.
That's a pretty cool idea.
These are the little parts, sprues. You cut off all the little things out of it and you make a roof rack out of it. Yeah. This is kind of cool too. This little kit in
You
the
have like
purse.
studs out around your wheel wells too?
Oh yeah, well, I made these out of coffee containers. The wheel wells out of these Folgers coffee containers.
Uh-huh.
And they didn't want to hold down very well, so I kind of got carried away with self-tapper screws.
Yeah.
Then I got into the scale scene and realized that they're not very scale and everything. So I got a new body and
I don't know, you put that shotgun on and it looks like it's ready for apocalypse.
right, I make my zombie killer.
Yeah, zombie killer.
Actually, the driver from that Rubicon is from The Walking Dead.
Cool.
I was just looking at those figures because they were on sale at the store here for 50% off.
Oh, yeah.
They're pretty good. This one,
They look a little small though for my trucks.
yeah, I think they might have changed the scale. They have some smaller and larger ones now. This one was a good scale for this truck.
Yeah, Tony cut the legs off his guy because it didn't fit in the truck.
I saw that. I liked him in his mud bash in the Rubicon too when he was dangling by one arm.
Yeah, you like that? His Velcro's kind of seen better days.
Out here, we can't get the truck dirty right now. Too cold and no mud.
Yeah. I think my mud pit's freezing tonight.
Yeah, right? Yeah, see this? I just put some foam in her torso. But yeah, it's character from Walking Dead.
That's cool.
And she has 2 open hands, so that's kind of handy for the steering wheel.
You get more scale points if you have the legs, eh?
Right? I was thinking about just throwing, do they have to be attached to the body? Just
Yes.
throw them in a bag and drag
Yes.
them behind the car?
Yes.
No.
Well, it's just like on me on my TF2.
Right.
I have the guy that you get from RC 4-wheel drive that sits down and he's like this, like he's like that. But he actually does, from the knees down, he doesn't have any legs. But he's got his knees,
Okay.
but he doesn't have any legs. So what I did is I took a skeleton. Where is my skeleton?
Yours doesn't have legs, your RC four-wheel drive guy?
Yeah. So what I did is I chopped off this guy's leg because he had feet.
All right.
So I just cut the legs here and I stuck them underneath, right underneath the elbow. And I said, these are fake legs.
Aesthetic.
You know, like an army guy, when he gets his leg cuts, those are amputee legs.
Sure. Sure.
Works. I got the full scale points.
That's true. It's a good idea. How does it throw a pair of legs in the back?
So why doesn't your RC four-wheel drive guy have legs?
That's the way the guide comes when you buy it from RC four-wheel drive. It doesn't have legs.
Mine does.
It's not like one you got, Tony. It's actual driver figure.
Oh.
Yes, because
Just
you got
assembled.
the new guy. You got the new guy that came out. I believe it came out last year, that guy.
Yeah.
But if you look for the original one, it's actually an old driver that existed for years now. And
Okay.
the guy has a normal face and all that, and he's got hair, but the way he's got his arm, and you just glue his arms on the side, but it's a plastic guy. It's not a little doll.
Well, mine cost $35 and it didn't freaking fit in the truck. I was not happy.
I hear that.
Was it too small?
Well, I had to cut his legs off, and I wasn't about to cut legs off of a $35 toy figurine, like a Ken doll, basically.
Scale figurine.
Yeah. That is scale figurine, sorry.
Definitely not a toy.
With lipstick on.
Josh Noon right now in the comments says he just built a TF2 and put Bella and Edward from Twilight in the interior.
Nice.
Says I use some thick board and black Gorilla tape around it for waterproof the interior, and also use a tape for the inner fenders.
Okay.
Yeah, you can get really creative when you start doing inner fenders and all that. Pretty much anything you find around the house can actually do it. Just got to get creative. I use a Ziploc box from my wife. I cut 2 of them up, and then she goes, where's all my box? I don't find them anymore. They're gone. I cut them up. She wasn't happy with that.
These are the ones Axial sells. I haven't tried them yet, but I'm going to.
Yeah, they work pretty good because you get the bottom tray, you get everything with it. They're pretty cool.
Right.
I was just saying it came up pretty cool and it's on eBay now, so he's selling it apparently. I was, even before I was just worried about putting my little action figure, as Bar Harbor Basher says, into the mud and ruining them. Because that's, I mean, those are expensive.
Oh yeah, you need to Scotch Brite his outfit or something.
Yeah.
Scotch Brite his outfit.
I'd make him drive naked, man.
There you go.
Put a beer in his hand.
Hold my beer, watch this.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, some Scale people here, they're selling the Scale Tim Hortons coffee cup. Tim Hortons pretty big here in Canada.
I missed Tim Hortons.
I got some Starbucks ones. We had Tim Hortons for a while. Then Dunkin' Donuts put in an extra store like right across the street, so it was 2 of them in the same town. 2 Dunkin' Donuts within like 3 blocks of the Tim Hortons just to force them out, I think. Dunkin' Donuts are getting worse and worse too. They're definitely not fresh every day.
Oh yeah. Here in town, you get a Tim Horton you can go almost not even a mile and you get another Tim Horton. You drive 5 minutes and you're at another Tim Horton. So there's coffee shops all over the place.
They make a good sandwich too. I'm trying to see what he's got. John's got there in the back. It's got like some street cars.
Yeah, he's got quite a bit of different RCs.
These guys?
His videos.
Yeah, these are race cars. Sorry, lighting's probably
Not bad.
that's a Durango DETC 410. That's a original Fortec 1.0
Huh.
from the 98. This is my rarest RC. This is a Traxxas Blue Eagle LS2 stadium truck.
That's cool.
Bring your camera up a little bit more.
What's
we
it
don't
up?
see it.
Yeah.
Sorry, can't really. Oh, there you
That's
go.
cool.
So yeah, that's from both this one and this one is back when Traxxas made kits.
Cool.
Yeah.
Now, what do you have that is stock? Like stock original motor, electronics, and everything. Do you have anything for street car?
No.
Well, for this summer, you might have to buy one.
Well, I can put the stock electronics back in the Fortec 2.0.
Oh, cool. Because what I want to do is I want to do a stock race challenge. So I'm going to take like me, you, some West End guy that have YouTube channel, and I want to do a stock street race. The reason I want to do stock is because just to show the people the difference between cars when you buy them stock, without any hop-ups, without anything. Let's have fun and do a stock race. I have some other ones that are modified. We can do a mod race after, but it would be cool to do a stock race just to show people what's the biggest difference between the stock Traxxas Ford and the stock HPI, and they both have 15 turns, but they handle differently, and with different drivers also. So it should be cool.
Yeah. What do you consider stock though? Would this with the original motor and ESC, but with the big pinion, still be considered stock, or is that you want it like out of box stock?
I'd rather out of box stock, but because the pinion could be, well, it is a mod, so to me it would be back with the original pinion. That would be stock. It would be almost as if out of box. I was even thinking of doing the
How much better is it though with the new pinion? Is it like that?
100% better.
Oh, okay.
So I was thinking of doing it that way because it just shows people out of the box what they get. Because somebody that's new to RC, that's what they're going to do. They're not going to go out and buy the biggest pinion right away. But
yeah.
Well, you're afraid you're going to lose against the HPI when it's stock?
No, it's not fun stock.
Yeah, but when you're going around corners, and it's not like a speed run. When you're going around corner in the track, it's completely different than bashing.
Yeah. No, I mean I can certainly put it back to that for a certain race event for sure. Yeah, but I've already made a bunch of videos on that showing what it was like out of box stock, and then with a slightly bigger pinion. And then I kind of progressed it all the way along all summer from box stock to where it is now with the Castle Creation system in it.
Okay.
So yeah.
And did you upgrade any shocks, or did you upgrade any suspension thing?
No, it's all 100% stock suspension, stock drivetrain. The only thing I've changed on it was I changed the motor and ESC, and I tried different tires. And even on this Fortec 2.0, I don't know what the Unicorn is like, or the HPI Sprint 2 3.7 or whatever it is.
Yeah.
What is it? Sprint 3?
It's Sprint 3 right now.
Yeah. With this, the wheel offset it has a high offset and a wide tire on the rear, and then the front is a skinnier tire. So you get a 200 millimeter track width on the rear, and then the front is like 195 or something. It's kind of weird. So when you go to change tires, when you go to put on anything aftermarket for a tire on this car, it drops your track width down to like 185. So not really digging that too much, but yeah, what can you do?
Yeah, the HPI is the same thing. There is an offset in the rear wheels, and also when you measure, the rear wheels is actually wider than the front.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So there's a couple comments there.
Tony, I saw on your channel that you had the Porsche in that same car. Do you still have that?
Nope. Get rid of it.
Oh yeah,
You can drive it anywhere.
yeah.
I,
Gotta
I
have a
mean,
parking lot.
I don't have a perfectly clean. I even took out like the blower and everything and tried, blowing out areas and roads and stuff, and it still got rocks stuck in the steering
That's
and just
that's
lock
the
up.
same. It's the same chassis as the new Unicorn, right? Same car.
I believe it is. Yeah.
RS4 Sport.
Yep.
Yeah.
Flux 3 or something. There's a long.
Yeah, so I can't. There's two numbers in the title. I can't remember what it is.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it was quick. It pulled really hard as well. Once you get up
The
to
Porsche
speed.
was the brushless one, right? Flux brushless.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
it would
was-
have flown.
It was stupid quick. And so, yeah, I got rid of it. I have a Vatera still that I need to finish.
Okay.
It's finished, actually. I just need to mount the body, and I've got the magnet mounts and everything, and I've got a cool, like, old truck with the big motor sticking out of the hood of it, body. I've never mounted it. I've driven it a few times in the driveway, but I need to set the in and out points as well for the controller to the ESC, but I haven't done any of that. I just kind of, all right, it's done, and never finished.
Cool.
Just because I had so many issues with that other street card that I just didn't think that I wanted to do street cars at all. So, but the Vatera, to be honest, sits higher off the ground to go fast like that Porsche was. And so it was probably one of their trucks or some other, like just a scale car. So it actually handled a lot better outside than the Porsche. But that Porsche body, I was just mangling it too because it rode like, a couple millimeters off the ground. You just catch it. Just tear that back fin off.
Oh no.
So, or not the fin, but the whatever they call it.
Spoiler.
Or that hangs down to the ground, the fairing. They're
Rear
vented
diffuser.
and everything, and you rip the vents out. So, I want to do a street car again. I was looking at that Hoonigan. I've been looking at it over and over and over, but I don't know. I'll probably
Or if
do
you
a
didn't
rally
like the
car.
other one, if you didn't like the other one and the rocks were getting into it, this one's going to be the same
The
thing.
same problem, yeah. That's the worst thing about them is that you got to have a really nice groomed surface. So unless you got access to a really clean parking lot somewhere with a lot of room to roam, it's really the only place you can run them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
or indoors somewhere in a gym or something, but
Yeah, a racetrack, yeah, or indoors.
I don't really have either of those. So they just redid our streets, but you still get all the stuff dropping from the trees, and I mean, they're brand new asphalt, so it's smooth, but
Yeah.
It's called
yeah,
a
I
broom.
think I'd be better off with like a rally car or something like that. Maybe a Kyosho. It's kind of a hybrid of on-road, off-road.
It's called a broom, Tony. You use it and you do yourself a track with the broom, and then you race.
I use a blower, man. I ain't using no broom.
I believe
Yeah, powered steel blower.
Nice. I
I've
was
still
looking
got stuff stuck in the bell crank steering on those is just, it's a poor design, I think. But
Yeah, I watched your videos with that thing. Looked like a pain.
it could have been so awesome, but it just wasn't.
There weren't big rocks either. They're little teeny pebbles. 1/4 of an inch big is all it takes.
But I think the tracks that might even work because those sit a little bit higher. Yeah.
The 2.0, the Fortec, I don't know, but higher, subjectively higher. I mean, it has, I don't know if I can even show you this on my little laptop camera here, but
Frank was measuring his at 3/8 of an inch off the ground or
I don't know.
something.
You're probably not going to be able to tell.
It already looks higher.
I mean, it doesn't have much. That's mostly suspension. Like,
But what about the steering? What's that?
What's that?
Does it have a bell crank steering? Or is it different?
it does, and
They were running this in the hobby shop parking lot, which was terrible.
I got a rock
Conditions.
once. I don't know what you can see. It does have a front bell crank steering
Yeah,
system,
it's the
but
same.
The pan, at least the pan's open under it.
yeah, I have gotten rock stuck in there before, jams it up.
Okay.
But it's not too
Huh.
bad. But it's got the Traxxas honeycomb going on. That's a real rock catcher too, and you got your center drive shaft there. But I don't know if you were on the call yet, but when I first joined, we were talking about this car. It's been super reliable for me. I ran it all summer. I ran it more than I thought I would actually, and I have not broken one part on this. And it's been in some pretty horrific crashes. And yeah, I have not had to buy one replacement part for it.
Now, do you run that body?
The GT body, yeah. Yeah, I run the GT body on it too, which is surprisingly strong, but it's starting to show some wear pretty bad. Like I've scratched it up, beat it pretty bad. It also has that the rear. I don't know if you can see that, but
The rear fin.
Beat it like I'm saying.
it also has the rear fins, but they're in good shape still.
Those are plastic, though, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
The
they're
other ones
plastic.
were thin pieces of Lexan that had little tabs, and it screwed into the bottom of another piece of Lexan. It pulled out all the time.
Yeah,
that looks much better designed.
It's a tough shell because it's got double layer. Like the roof is a whole separate piece with the flying buttresses, so you got double Lexan on the roof, and then the back is bolt on.
Yeah,
Right.
So yeah.
I think it's
but
better
that
than-
Hoonigan body just looks so rad.
Yeah, the Hoonigan looks awesome. I do like how the Hoonigan looks. For
I just
sure.
want to get and like put bigger tires on it and just lift it.
I thought about putting things like short course. I should have tried that tonight. See if a short course tire would fit on this.
Go rally tires. They're just a little bigger.
Yeah. Where's my short
They're
course
not
tire?
as wide either as the short course.
If you
Yeah,
put
I've
too
been
big of
looking
a
at
tire, you'll have problem turning.
What tank?
If
Yeah, I
you put
probably
too big of a tire, it won't turn as much.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, short course is way too big. Now that I've got it here in front of it.
You'd be rubbing
I don't
the
think-
body on that.
You need some 1.55 tires. Because short course truck are basically 2.2s.
You know what did help my RS4 was I took the body or the shock mounts to the furthest out. Whichever one lifts them the most. I'm trying to picture it in my mind. In. And so it lifted the body up a little bit just by adjusting the shocks on the HPI. And that helped. I could actually drive it a little without it bottoming out and ripping, but I still was getting the rock problem. That's closer.
Yeah, that's a 10 scale buggy tire. It would still have interference problems, but
Yeah.
if I can get the hex on.
So, like I said, they've been talking here locally about doing some rally stuff, just kind of building little course. And,
Yeah.
But a lot of them are just taking those kind of rigs. You know, they're taking the touring cars or whatever, and they're doing extended arms off them and bigger shocks and making their own rally cars.
Okay.
The buggy hexes are smaller. They're not the same. So I guess the buggy is like a 10 mil hex. These are 12.
Oh, really? That's odd. I thought they would have been 12.
Yeah, I thought they were the same, but that hex is too small compared to the hex on the stock wheel.
Okay.
Oh well.
And we had Dante that just joined us.
Yes, hello.
Good evening.
So what are you up to, Dante?
So what are you guys up to? Oh, well, I'm up to, when I was on, what was it, 2 or 3 weeks ago, somebody mentioned, because I mentioned redoing the bushings in the front end of my Trailfinder 2, somebody mentioned the bearing mod.
Yeah,
So I
did
got
you do
that
it?
set up here. I got, well, I was looking at a couple different forums about it, and they suggested to get the ones with
The flange?
the hook where the bearing sits right on top.
Yeah, the flange bearing.
Yeah, there we go. The problem with that is some people were saying that with holding the weight of the truck, the inside of the bearing will pull through. So I researched it a little bit more. So right now I just put the two, and they aren't completely in, but they're pretty tight right now. And then I want to get one of the, I forget what you call it, the flat bearings that turn on top of each other like a disc, and put one in on the top, so that the weight of the truck will stay on that. We'll see. So far, I'm happy with it. It's at least tighter than what I had, because what I had was so bad. I can, let's see if I can,
Yeah, with the bushings.
yeah, I'll show you the one side. I don't know if I can get it. I don't know if you guys can really see it. So wiggly. It's to the point where I would notice it on the trail. So up to, what are you guys talking about tonight?
Well, we started talking about Chinese car and how it's hurting is it hurting or not the industry, and what are our thought on it.
Oh, are you talking about like the TRX4 and stuff? Or what specifically are you talking about?
The Chinese brand or the knockoff, like the one that looks like a twin hammer, that's a knockoff, or
Oh,
the
okay.
$30 or $100 Chinese brand RCs that people are buying off eBay.
Okay. Yeah, that's a little, well, like, I don't even know about like TRX4, but I was kind of a little bit against that when that first came out, just because there's so much already done. It's like, is it a hobby or is it more of a toy that you just, buy and play with? But I'm actually really impressed with that truck. I like that one. But I know some of those, I was looking like compared to when I was a kid, which wasn't all that long ago, but like you can buy some pretty nice RCs for like $50, which is crazy. So I don't know what I think of that.
Yeah, I find the TRX4 is from Trax has too bells and whistles, too many bells and whistles on it for nothing. It's just crazy how much gadgets they've got on that.
I actually really like it. However, I'm kind of a little jealous. I'm also kind of wondering, I mean, it's kind of hard to, there's not much left to customize. That's the only problem.
Right.
Yeah, is the way
Right.
they build it, with the 2-speed tranny and
Mhm.
the servos the way they are, and it just limits what kind of customization you can do on it. It's just
Yep.
like now with their new batteries that they got coming out, they have that special little connector that you can't use the other guy's battery anymore. It's
Sure.
trying to get the market that you buy their stuff and their stuff only.
Yeah, I don't like the battery thing at all that they've done, but I think the TRX4 still has plenty of upgrades and things you can do to it for sure. I'm really amazed by how much the aftermarket took into that truck. Like there's so much stuff available for it now. It's unbelievable.
Good. I didn't even know about that.
Oh yeah, there's a heck of a lot more. Like in the last month, I saw some cool things come out for it. So
Okay. Well, good. That makes it more personable, because
There's metal
I
axles.
was just worried, like
parts and
you look at every like axial or four-wheel drive truck, RC four-wheel drive truck, everyone is different, different paint job, different mods. And
just today, Proline announced that they have a new body for it. They came out with a Jeep. It's like a Jeep chair. Well, I don't know. It's got like a Wrangler front end, but then it's got the body of like a Cherokee. It's kind of weird.
Good.
it's for the scale. The wheelbase on a TRX4 is a little bit longer than your average.
Yeah, it's a 12.8 or something instead of a 12.3.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then I saw there was A-Main made a video that there's some aftermarket links that you can buy as well, which will shorten the wheelbase down to the normal 12.3.
Yep.
So that's pretty cool too.
Would you need a different body for that?
Yes.
Yes, that's so you can use a different body for it. That's why they made those links.
Oh yeah, yep. Okay.
Apparently that's the best bang for buck you can do to reduce the center of gravity on that truck anyway, which is what it desperately needs, because that body that it comes with is over 2 pounds.
Yep.
Really?
Yep.
Jeez.
Yeah, the Defender body is.
Yeah, the Defender is 2 pounds.
Grams. The other one's 400 or something. It's the inner fender wells, the back bumper, everything's attached right to the body.
Mhm.
Not,
No,
back
I
bumpers
got one.
have-
I just haven't unboxed it yet.
I have one. They're cool. I haven't driven it too much.
Oh, looks like Tony moved to his garage. Oh, he's
Don't
running back
move.
in the house now.
I had to change the laundry over.
We're getting a private tour from Tony.
Too loud.
Too loud?
Yeah, my HVAC system's running there, so
Ah,
before I went out.
good. I saw you had it muted, so
The well goes nuts out there. It's too loud. So I was looking for that truck though, that Latera. Found it somewhere in the RC graveyard. So there's a bunch of graveyard pieces out there, but there's a lot of good motors and ESCs in there.
yeah. I bought this the other day, just a simple tap and die set, because I've been doing a lot of custom parts and everything. So I wanted to make sure I had a 3mm die. So I've used it a couple
Nice.
times already.
Yeah, they're hard to find a 3mm tap and die. I had a hard time finding one. I did find
In
one.
fact, I was hoping to find even smaller. A 2mm would have been nice, but I don't know. I suppose I could buy it online if I had to.
They're still hard to find. 2 and 3mm. I looked for some, and they were hard to find online.
Okay.
And I went to my local hobby store, and they had some. After I found.
Okay.
I should have checked there first.
Yeah, I ordered some screws through the hobby shop, and they ended up having them on the wall too. Some long screws for the axial 4-link suspension.
Cool. My RC center said good night because it gets the sun rises early in Oklahoma. So he's gone. And I think I'm going to cut this conversation because we've been broadcasting for a little over 2 hours. And I try to keep it for about that long for RC Talk anyways. We'll stay on and chit chat for a little bit, and we'll see you next time. Guys, if you like this video, thumbs up, share the video to anybody that you want if they want to join in. And like I mentioned, next time, if you want to join in and make it easy, send me an email at thetankRC@gmail.com, and I'll send you an invite. And we'll talk to you later. Thanks for joining, guys.